f***ing terrifying. Oh, hey Lars, do you mind if I possess your body for a while? Oh, you do? Well, there's nothing you can do about it. Jeez, I don't even know what to say about this episode, guys. I mean, obviously I do. I always know what to say about everything. But figuratively speaking, I don't even know what to say about this episode, guys. Steven can possess people. Confirmed. It's not just the watermelons. He can possess people. Because at the big note, after seeing Lars treat Sadie like crap in public for like the bajillionth time, he goes to bed thinking about Lars, thinking about why Lars doesn't just tell Sadie how he feels, how Steven knows that he feels. And he ends up in Lars's dream, and then wakes up in Lars's body. That is horrifying. Now it's Steven. He's not going to use this power on people now that he knows he has it. He's a good enough, smart enough person to know what kind of violation that is, but wow. Body possession is usually the kind of power you give to the bad guys. But moving on from that, let's just try to put it out of mind. Calmly. This episode had a lot of very interesting stuff in it, because now that Steven is in Lars's body, he gets to go through a day in the life of Lars. And we meet Lars's parents, who seem like very cool people. I think his dad was named Dante or something, which is just nifty. But they're such nice people that it's kind of a shame that they ended up with a son who probably takes advantage of that all the time. Seriously, they definitely seem like the kind of parents who let their kids push them around. But I definitely like them, and I definitely hope we see them again. And they were definitely very impressed that Steven, as Lars, was nice to them. This is obviously something that doesn't happen very often. We also found some little tidbits about Lars' life, like he sleeps in the nude. Can't unsee that. He's not doing well at school, which honestly is to be expected. And there's another one. What was it? It's on the tip of my tongue. Oh yeah. Lars isn't just misunderstood, he actually is a dick. Surprise, surprise. If the reaction of his parents to acting nice to them wasn't enough, we get to see him interacting with the cool kids later, and they genuinely don't think he's a good person. I mean, granted, the cool kids are kind of self-centered and whatnot, but they're definitely good people, and they don't think Lars is. What does that tell you? But most interesting in this entire episode were Steve and Lars' interactions with Sadie. Steven desperately wanted Sadie to know that Lars actually cares about her. So he goes and proposes that they hang out, something that Sadie had proposed herself the day before and Lars had turned her down. And she's pleasantly surprised, and they go into her house and they decide to watch a movie together. And out of all of the awesome-looking horror/slasher films that Sadie has in her possession, which is awesome, by the way, I just love Sadie so much, Steven picks the cheesy vampire-werewolf romance. Because of course he does. And Sadie starts to think something's up. And then Steven as Lars, starts to act all emotional, and now she really thinks that something's up. And then Steven, as Lars, tells Sadie that he loves her, and her first reaction is that Lars would only do something like that to hurt her, to manipulate her in some way. What is it that I've said in the past about their relationship being abusive? I don't quite remember, but I think this probably proves that definitively. But it is because of this, because this is so out of character for Lars, that when Steven tells Sadie that he's not actually Lars, he's actually Steven in Lars's body, she actually believes him, and they go back to the temple house, followed by the cool kids and Lars's parents, to try to see if maybe Lars is in Steven's body since Steven is in Lars' body, or this is like a Freaky Friday kind of situation. Turns out it's not. Nope. He's just riding around in Lars's body, suppressing Lars's mind like some kind of slug-shaped alien. That was an Animorphs reference in case you didn't get it. And there's a bit of a confrontation in Steven's house where Sadie and Lars Steven manage to wake up regular Steven, which snaps him back into his body. And Lars comes to and is understandably angry at Steven for what he did. But because nobody knows what's going on, the cool kids defend Steven, and Lars' parents have absolutely no idea what's going on. I also want to point out before I forget that they got into Steven's house, which was locked, by Sadie kicking the door in half. I love Sadie. She's just the best. Anyway, everybody just kind of disperses, and I'm assuming the next day, or maybe it was later the same day, when Lars is working at the Big Donut, Steven comes by to apologize, good for him, and explains to Lars everything that he did, including telling Sadie that he loved her. And Lars actually falls over, he is so stunned by this, but then he gets right back up and says, "What did she say?" And when Steven tells him that Sadie reacted as if the only reason Lars would ever say that to her is to hurt her, Lars seems genuinely hurt. He also says that, yeah, that makes sense, but he's visibly hurt by it, and makes a point of noting the fact that everyone liked Steven as him better than they like him. And then when he sees Sadie again, immediately afterwards, he genuinely seems like he's trying to be nicer to her now in public, with Steven around, which was a big complaint that she had earlier, that Lars never treats her well in public. And that, combined with the fact that he's definitely a different person around her when they're together, and that does seem genuine now. I didn't used to think that it was, but now it definitely seems like it is. All of this combined, despite how negatively this episode painted Lars, I think that this might be a positive turn for his character. I think that knowing that people liked him better when he was nicer might inspire him to genuinely try to be a nicer person. He definitely wants people to like him, and if that's the reason he needs to be a better person, so be it. In fact, I will go so far as to say, guys, that this episode, the relatively positive outlook that the end of this episode brought to Lars as a character, makes me feel that his and Sadie's relationship might actually be valid again. And there's probably more that I could say about this episode, but I feel like that kind of stuff would be better suited for like a Lars analysis down the line. So, guys, if you have seen this episode, what did you think of it? Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below. Either way, this has been AJ22, and I will talk to you guys later.